All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. As I mentioned on the last video, we're gonna do power rankings. In this video, I got my friend Omar on, bro. How are you?
Good, Yusuf. How you doing?
Chilling, bro. I see you get the magic jersey, got the magic background. You
Always,
excited?
always excited for the season. You know, I'm gonna have to put us in the contenders spot today. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, man, in the preseason, like Franz going off. I saw you shooting like 60% preseason, which is pretty crazy.
I think his like effective field goal percentage for the preseason is like 90% or something. Ridiculous.
He's carrying that FIBA tournament, carrying the good vibes with
Exactly.
the momentum.
I
But
think if he
yeah,
can get most improved this year, probably should have won MVP in the FIBA tournament, but no.
who won? Schroeder.
Dennis Schroeder, bro, the Raptor now.
The Raptor now, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna start with the since we're in the East, we'll start with the Eastern Conference. Um, I think it's pretty easy. The first two teams, we'll just go like in order from the left to right. But and these are the standings from last year as well. So, you know, basically Milwaukee to Detroit. That's basically the Eastern standings from last season. Um, Obviously Milwaukee made the trade. Even before the trade, they were contender. But even with the trade, I'm sure they're gonna be right in the thick of the race again. So, what do you think about Milwaukee versus Boston?
I was
How do
gonna
you think?
say, I was gonna
Yeah,
ask you actually. I was gonna say, what do you think Dame makes the Bucks better than having Drew on the team?
it's pretty interesting. I think like the matchups are pretty even. I think. I guess like Celtics are probably more top heavy. Like
Hmm.
they have the wings, and Milwaukee pretty much only has like Middleton and like Pat Connaughton.
Yeah. I feel,
They don't
well,
really
I
have.
guess the depth is kind of lacking on both teams.
Yeah,
Um,
the benches are pretty bad to be honest.
yeah, I know the Celtics have like their center depth is gonna be lacking. I'm not sure if they're gonna be starting Al Horford and Kristaps together or not, or what their plan is with that. They got rid of Robert. Um, and I think behind them they have Cornette, I think they have Luke
Yeah,
Cornette on the bench.
yeah.
Like, I don't know how good he is. And then I think they signed someone recently, like on a 2A, or
I
and
think
some other big
Wenyan
guy,
Gabriel. I think, but yeah,
Wenyan.
not
Yeah, which he played for the Lakers a bit, right?
yeah.
Um, but yeah,
He brings
teams.
energy at least, but he's not very good.
I mean, for playoffs, I guess if healthy, these teams are pretty stacked top heavy, which is good for playoffs as long as they're healthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
For me,
think
to
yeah,
be honest, I think regular season Boston might get more wins just because there's less of a like a gelling period, less of a gelling time. I think.
yeah, I guess most of their teams pretty much still there, and I feel like adding Drew is a less of a change, I guess, because like he's not like he's filling a void on the team. Like the team, um, the stars are obviously Tatum and Brown,
He's basically
right?
gonna be the better version of Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
That's
upgrade
what.
Marcus
That's what.
Smart. Like
Yeah.
a really good defender. I don't know how if we want to compare like how they're defenders. They're both like elite. It just Drew adds more of a 3-point threat and just a better offensive game. But and then the addition of Kristaps, like they've been looking really good in preseason. They've been looking dangerous in the preseason.
Yeah.
So
No,
I think Celtics have a slight edge, honestly, over the Bucks overall. And then, but the Bucks, I feel like, yeah, they just haven't gelled yet. Like we haven't seen much of Dame and Antetokounmpo yet. They played like 2 games, just like not that many minutes together. And I know
yeah.
Dame had a bad game last game, but that's obviously like the Bucks have always been like a good defensive team, but adding Dame's offense is going to be like huge for them.
Yeah. I think they like they should be the top two seeds, especially with the like the next couple teams drop off a little bit. Like Philly dropped off a little bit, especially if they trade Harden. We'll see who they get. Um, unless they can land like another star, like guard or forward, guard or wing. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to see how Celtics integrate Porzingis and how many like shots he actually gets, and like if anybody is gonna complain about how many shots they're getting, because like
Yeah.
Tatum and Brown are used to averaging like almost 25 a game.
I feel like Kristaps hopefully like knows his role on the team because like he could be a huge critical part of the team if just as a defender, rebounder, shot blocker. Like just doing
And
that for the team would
basically
be
make
huge.
open shots. Yeah.
Make open like he'll get open looks, yeah, with pressure on Tatum and Brown, Drew. Like the team has like so many options, kind of like the Suns, honestly, just a bunch of offensive options. To take pressure off of him, just be more efficient, I guess. But yeah, big drop off for Philly if Harden's gone. They're gonna rely a lot on Embiid this year, and he always has injury problems too throughout his career. So like he's got to stay healthy like throughout the year for the team to be good. Plus, I guess Tyrese Maxey's got to take on a bigger role too as a secondary star on the team, I suppose. Tobias is getting old, so like he's already declining. Uh, uh, Outside like those three, I feel like the team is kind of weak. I don't know. They did pick up Kelly Oubre,
Yeah, I was about to
who
say you don't like Kelly Oubre as a third star.
he hasn't. I mean, he hasn't really shown much throughout his career. He's had like an inconsistent career. I feel like up and down. So I
Yeah.
mean, if he has an up year, then that would be huge for them. But Philly, yeah, I expect Philly to drop off like big. I could see them being like a middle of the pack seed this year. Honestly,
Yeah, I could. I don't know if I would say play in, but maybe like a 4 or 5 seed.
yeah, I could see 4 through 6. I would honestly think the Cavs are a lot stronger than them this year. I would think more chemistry for them. Going into the season, they got Garland. Mitchell. I could see maybe Evan Mobley making a slight jump this year. Um, Jarrett Allen's still there. They added Shooter and Max Strus, so that would be a big and with a lot of playoff experience, so that'd be
Yeah, they
a good
kind of
help.
finally filled that number third, like basically small forward spot that Levert was pretty inconsistent last season. Some games he would look great. I think some games he scored like 30 points plus, and then some
Hmm.
games he doesn't really show up. But they need
Yeah,
that dependable shooter like Struess, and they signed somebody else as well, right? It was
I'm not
who
sure
did they
honestly.
get? Oh,
Uh,
Jordan Yang.
Bernier probably come off the bench, but he's also a good
Yeah,
shooter, right? I
yeah,
feel like honestly, whenever he plays against the Magic, I swear he always torches us for some reason. But yeah, another good depth. Like they got a deeper team, a lot deeper probably than I would think the Celtics and the Bucks. So
yeah,
not as top heavy, but they're definitely gonna be. I'd say they're probably in the running for that third spot. Honestly,
yeah. I feel like they definitely need to make a strong playoff run this year too. Like what's it called? Like entice Mitchell to be more committed long term. I think.
yeah. I was seeing some trade rumors today that the Heat could try to go after Mitchell. I saw Mitchell or Harden. I don't know how true they are, but yeah, if the Cavs could prove themselves this year, that would be huge for them. If not, I could see them having to at least part way with one of their stars, to change up the roster a bit.
Yeah, especially with Allen and Mobley. Maybe trade Allen if you think Mobley can take that center spot, especially if he's not much of an outside shooter.
Yeah, it gives like Timberwolves vibes, honestly. Like Gobert and Cat. Like we see how that was working
And
out
at
for
least
them.
Gat is like a pretty good 3-point shooter. Like these guys, neither of them is really capable of shooting
That's
more
true.
than mid range.
Yeah, that's true. I don't even know. Does Jared take much jumpers? I don't know if he does, but I know, yeah, Evan Mobley can hit some mid range, but yeah, if he could if he expands that role or expands the 3-point line, then that would be huge for them. Or if not, I'd say he probably is more than capable of handling the center spot alone. And they could move on from Jarrett Allen.
Yeah, or at least bring him off the bench.
Yeah,
Like at least have some versatility in the lineups.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, what do you think of Philly if they trade like a couple picks for Terrence Mann? Do you think that's worth it or not? If they get a
Yeah.
couple picks, sorry.
I've seen that the Clippers have been really wanting to hold on to Terrence Mann. It's kind of surprising. Like I don't know if he like has like that kind of star potential or anything. I know
Yeah, I
that
saw
he popped
he's
off in that one
27, bro.
series. He's 27.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay, I thought he was just young, honestly. But yeah, what I'm thinking here is Harden's trying to force his way out of Philly, so they're Clippers are just making up stuff. They're like, yeah, we want to keep Terrence Mann. Get some more first rounders out of Philly, which I could see happening because they probably don't want to be stuck with a player who doesn't want to play like kind of like the Dame situation.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw somebody tweeted that he's already 27 and the Clippers are acting like he's a rising star.
they had me believing he was a rising star at this point. I'm like, wow, they don't want to trade him for James Harden. Like, okay, uh, like I don't really like the fit of James Harden on the Clippers. I would say he adds depth to them because we can't really rely on Kawhi and Paul George to be healthy at all times, right? So reunited Westbrook and I don't know if Westbrook would be involved in the trade, but Westbrook and Harden on the team would be really interesting.
Westbrook
Uh,
would probably have to come off the bench.
yeah,
I'm
I,
guessing.
I I don't really understand that team composition at all though. James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi. It's just that's a really weird combination of players. I feel like, um, but I mean, it could be a risk that the Clippers are willing to take because they haven't made any noise the past few years, right? They're always like hyped up. They're like, yeah, they're gonna be contenders, right? But then they always end up short because they're always injured or I
Yeah.
don't know all that. So, but Philly, I don't know. I would say, I mean, I think Philly is probably too good for the play-in tournament, but just because of
If
Embiid,
Embiid plays more than like 60 to
60,
65 games,
yeah.
then
He
they'll
he had a
yeah.
relatively healthy season last year.
Yeah.
Which was good. And but yeah, they definitely like have the talent to not have to play in the play-in tournament. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did slip into it either. Honestly, it's gonna be
Right.
50-50.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Knicks. I think they should also be in this category. They made, pretty impressive playoff run. Took the was it the Heat, right? They took them like what 6 games.
Yeah, they went deep with the Heat. Was that first round?
Second round, they beat the Cavs in the first round.
Oh
So
yeah, they did.
they
That's
kind
a
of
disappointment for the Cavs, honestly.
yeah
Losing to the Knicks. But I mean that yeah, I guess that shows growth for them.
yeah.
I think Jalen Brunson popped off that series. He was I know cooking it in the playoffs. I'm not sure. Did they really make any off-season moves? Nothing big, did they?
Not really. I think they just got like DiVincenzo and who else did they get? That's pretty much it.
I guess they added a little depth, I guess, to the team.
Yeah,
I could see continuation being a good thing for them.
yeah. Especially with
Definitely too good.
Grimes and Josh Hart getting them for a full season. I mean, they had Grimes, but he's just still a young guy, and Brunson's still pretty young too, right? I feel like
Brunson's he's still in his prime for sure.
yeah,
And then Quentin Grimes, yeah, if he's showing that he can be like an elite 3-and-D type player. Um, and then Josh Hart,
hmm
I feel like is just the guy that you want to have on the team in the playoffs. Doing all the
yeah,
dirty work, winning plays type player, good defender. So I put the Knicks up there. Obviously, none of these teams have the star power to match the Celtics and the Bucks to
yeah,
be contenders, but they could surprise us. I would say they have the chance.
yeah. They need Barrett or probably Barrett or Randall to be like more. I guess Randall was like an All Star, right? 2 years
I
ago
mean,
or a
yeah,
year ago.
Randall's. I think we know what he is. Well, I think same thing with Barrett. People are always, not people. I would say Knicks fans are always like, waiting for that Barrett breakout. But like, it's been like he's been in the league for like 5, 6 years now. I think, right? Or maybe going
Yeah, I
into
think it
his
was like the
7th year.
Zion draft, which was like
Yeah,
2019. So it's been like
yeah.
4 years.
So people have been waiting for him to wake up. I know he. I mean, he had I think a pretty good run with Canada in the FIBA tournament. I know he played well some games.
But even then, he was like the third guy, pretty much.
Yeah, so like I don't think they can rely on him to be a star. I mean, they obviously have two stars in Brunson and Randall to handle most of the offensive load for the team, but I don't know. They I
Yeah, this seems like a
honestly,
spot they could upgrade.
I could see the Knicks trying to maybe cash in their chips for like a big move this year, maybe try to push them over the top. But I I guess they're just banking on internal growth for now until they make a move.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any good wing that really available right now. Maybe the Zach Levine, maybe somebody like that.
If the
But
Bulls decide to blow up the roster, they can. Yeah, I could see DeRozan or Levine getting available. That would be huge. I don't know, maybe Vucevic even at that point. Like if they want to just any like third star on the team. Um,
is
yeah.
Vucevic really a star? No, just kidding.
he's past his prime now, but but yeah, yeah, he held it down for us, for the Magic back in the day, lead
He was the elite at getting that
scorer,
8 seed.
Yeah, elite to get us the 8th seed. Underrated.
Underrated, yeah. All right. Next up, pretty interesting, like almost group of like I don't know, like 5, 6 teams. Maybe the
Yeah.
Heat. Maybe the Heat should be above the plan, right?
I feel like the Heat should be above the plan, but I feel like this could also be the year that they just collapse finally. I don't know.
I mean, even last year they were a play-in team, so it's not like
They
we're
were.
disrespecting them.
Honestly, I would still put them in the play-in.
Yeah,
Like just me, because like they didn't. I feel like they just got worse over the summer, right? Um,
right. They lost Vincent. They lost Struess.
Lost Vincent was a huge loss for them. Struess, big loss for them. Jimmy Butler's just only getting older. I feel like a lot of it's going to depend on his health this year. He's also been a guy who's been pretty injury prone, so he needs to be healthy this year. But then also there could be a jump maybe in Tyler Hero. He's probably going to get more usage, more minutes this year. I would see probably them probably like
Revenge season. Tyler Hero.
season. Yeah, the people were saying that they didn't like he was in trade talks all summer, and then a decline in Kyle Lowry, or they probably will like not use him as much as they did in past years, because I mean he's like what 35, 36. I'm not sure. So
I don't know
it's just an aging team,
who this guy is on the Heat that they have as the backup point guard. It says D Smith.
Dennis Smith. I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure. Like the
Nah,
Heat.
Dennis Smith is on the. He's on the team. He's definitely not
The
on the Heat.
Hornets, or not in the Hornets. He wasn't the Hornets before. I don't know. The Heat are an aging team. I'm
His
forgetting
name
about
is
Bam
Drew
Adebayo.
Smith. DRU
Drews.
Smith.
I don't even know who that is.
Never
Maybe
heard
it's
of
G
that.
Leaguer. I'm not sure. But
Watch him be amazing though.
honestly, they still have young Bam Adebayo as a star on the team. I feel like he has, if they want to like be a top seed, like he has to produce a lot probably this year, because he's
Yeah,
just been kind of the same player maybe for a couple of years now. But like they're gonna need more firepower, honestly, if they're gonna like shoot for being like a top 5 seed in the East, especially with the top team strengthening up. The Heat obviously like went down, so like I don't know, it's gonna be an interesting year for them.
but they'll probably still be in the finals or conference finals.
Somehow we all doubt them. They barely make the play-in tournament, and then they'll end up in the finals. Like it's just Jimmy Butler powers. That's what it
What'd
is.
you think of his hair on what was it media day?
His his emotional look, or his
Yeah,
emo look, as he said. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. It was funny. I think he got that haircut, and he became emo because of the Dame trade. Actually, didn't really fall his way. So I know Heat fans were really looking forward to getting Dame this summer. Which
yeah,
actually that would probably, I would have put them in the contender spot if they got Dame, for
yeah, for
sure.
sure.
They
Yeah,
would have been up there. So if I was a Heat fan, I'd be really angry too. So I'm not surprised. He went with that hairstyle.
all right. What team do you like next? It's kind of a group of teams that
This is a tough one. These are all like, I want to say I would say the Hawks here,
the
honestly.
Hawks. You think it's
Yeah,
bounced back year a little bit?
they bounce back year. This is they got their first year of Dejounte Murray and um Trey out the way, so maybe figuring out how to use them better together.
They got John
Um,
Collins out of the way too.
John Collins out the way. I think they have what's his name? Jonathan Taylor, or I don't know. They have another guy. They think I don't know if he's a rookie or not. He's been playing well in the preseason, who can fill up the forward spot for
Is
them.
it like Johnson, Jalen Johnson?
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's been playing well for them. I could see maybe them straying away from Clint Capella this year, maybe trading him and getting Onyeka Okongwu more minutes, because I know he's like a younger center who like can basically fill in those shoes and probably
yeah,
provide more of a spark for them. Uh, but I think a lot of it's obviously going to bank on the stars, like Trey Young having a really good year and Dejounte having a good year. Is this Quinn Snyder's like second year with the
yeah.
Hawks?
Second
Maybe.
year. Yeah,
Yeah, so I think that's gonna be really beneficial for them. He's a good defensive coach. Can has a lot of playoff experience. Can hopefully coach up that team to you know bounce back year for them, get them back in the top.
Yeah, they need
Uh,
to run this year for sure.
I think they picked up Sadiq Bey midway last season or something. He's
Yeah,
gonna
they
be a
got him at
good
the deadline,
shooter.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, good shooter for them. Maybe DeAndre Hunter can make a little bit more. He I guess more consistent, honestly, because he always shows like flashes. But if he can be a consistent like player for them, that would be big.
Yeah. They definitely need one of the wings to step up, like Hunter, you said, Bay, even
Hmm.
Adrian Griffin. Adrian Griffin was like a pretty good shooter, like in
Oh
the
yeah,
first half of the
rookie.
season, I remember, but he kind of fell off.
Yeah,
But they definitely, I think, I mean, definitely looks like they're gonna play more like spread spread out offense,
five
which makes
outside.
sense.
Well, almost
Yeah,
five out. But
yeah,
I could see them. I guess having a lot of internal growth. Hopefully, they have a lot of young players. And obviously even Trey's like still extremely young, so like
yeah.
always room for growth in them. Not even hitting his prime yet, so I think Hawks are kind of sleepers this year to maybe even push for a top three. I could see, potentially. Depends on how the dice rolls, but I think they're sleepers. Yeah, in the East.
Yeah, you could tell me like any order, and I'd
Hmm.
probably be like, yeah, probably makes sense based
So
on
yeah,
injuries, based on just like team fit.
I think both the East and West this year have the NBA is like so stacked with talent. Like
Yeah,
this year, like it's getting hard to predict how good teams are gonna be.
yeah. It's like they're in the same tier, but you don't really know like if they're gonna be in the 3 seed or like the 7 seed.
Exactly. Yeah, it could vary so much.
But next team,
How
you
many
think
teams we got
Brooklyn
here?
deserves that spot, the next spot, or somebody else?
We got what, 6, 7 teams so far. So this is the
Yeah,
eighth spot. This is a tough one. Like this one can legit be anybody from top to bottom, pretty much. Uh, I don't know about the Nets. The Nets are like a team that like I feel like they have like no chemistry together. Like a lot of players have been moved around. Michael Bridges has moved on his team. I'm not sure exactly like Cam Thomas's role on the team if he's starting or not. Nick Claxton's a really good young center, shot blocker, good defender, rebounder. Um, I don't know. I guess Ben Simmons could be an X factor here. What kind of year he's gonna bring for them
definitely one of the
as a point
biggest
guard.
biggest X factors probably in the NBA this year.
Yeah, like is he gonna, you know, return to his old form? Is he gonna play this full year? You know, um, all that. I guess they got Spencer
Can he be
Dinwiddie
the
as shooting
starting
guard.
point guard?
Yeah, I mean, their lineup is looking like what they have: Ben Simmons, Dinwiddie, Bridges, Claxton. I'm not sure who their fourth starter is. Maybe Dorian
Cam
Finney,
Johnson
Cam Johnson, Oh, Cam Johnson. Yeah,
or
they have
Finney Smith? Yeah,
they got really good shooters on the team. Honestly, good floor spacers. I know. I think even Nick Claxton can step out a little bit from time to time. Um, so I feel like they have a lot of talent on that team,
you know who would look
but
good on the Knicks would be Mikal Bridges in that Barrett spot, but that's kind of a weird trade. I don't know if they would do it.
that would be amazing. Yeah, I mean the Nets just chipped in for like they put in everything right to get Michael Bridges pretty much. So yeah, they probably stick with him. I feel like as the cornerstone of the team most
Yeah,
likely. So I feel like they have a really nice deep team. They don't have a lot of star power, but I see them definitely fighting for a play-in spot this year. That's for sure.
they definitely
I
need Mikal Bridges to be like a all star type player.
He's gonna need to average at least like 25 plus points a game, I would think,
Yeah,
and they just gonna have to figure out roles for the team because like there's no true like number one, number two, number three on the team. I guess Michael Bridges could be like the number one, but outside of that, it's like really spread out. So
yeah, it's
um,
whoever's basically hot that night. Maybe even
yeah,
Cam Thomas
Cam
or
throwing Cam Thomas for 50 piece, one night. Um, but they're gonna have to figure out their roles for sure. It's like a young team. Uh, I feel like they have the most risk just because they don't have like that full chemistry and like full roles like developed. So yeah,
yeah, yeah. Like, is this? I mean, this is obviously the range that you want to see the Magic in as well this year.
Yeah. I could see a wide range for the Magic honestly this year. Like it's even possible that we could finish like the same position we did last year while still getting better, just because the East has gotten so much better
Yeah,
and it's been so tight. So like that wouldn't be a win in my in my book for them. Like the goal is obviously to make playoffs this year. Um, didn't
at
make
least make the
a lot
play
of
in.
moves. The play, yeah, at least the play in. I think I feel like this is. I mean, this is the first full off season that we've had with the healthy players. So this could be. I think this could be a big year for the Magic, especially since starting off 5-20
Yeah,
last
that
year.
just really killed
Um,
the momentum of everything.
yeah, they literally killed everything. Like if they were like if they had 10 wins instead of 5 wins, like they could have been a play-in team.
Yeah,
So I think the Magic obviously are gonna be. I'm obviously a homer, but banking on growth, they added some shooting in the offseason, right? Joe Ingles, obviously like a 40% 3-point shooter. Drafted Jet Howard, who's obviously like known to knock down threes. And then also making a big change to the starting lineup. They're putting Jalen Suggs in as the shooting guard over Gary Harris. Um, I'm thinking that the Magic are guaranteed to be in the spot where they are trying to fight for the play, and it's definitely not like they're trying to tank or anything this year.
yeah,
I think it's gonna be a dogfight between the Hawks, Nets, Raptors, Bulls, Pacers, Wizards this year. I would put honestly. I think the Hornets
even
and
the Hornets
Pistons.
maybe. Yeah, if
I'll say
Bridges
Hornets maybe,
plays.
but I feel like Bridges is. I don't. There was an arrest warrant out for him, but then I seen that he's been practicing with a team.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
not.
know what's going on.
I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I wanna just because of like that. Even if Bridges back, I still would put them below, just because like how out of sync they've been. Over the past couple of years, they've had players getting arrested. They've had Lamelo out for like the whole year with the like ankle issues and everything.
Yeah,
So I feel like just on a pure like chemistry standpoint and health issues, I would. That's the only reason why I would put him a tier below the rest of the teams, just because of that. And like the injuries question mark. Like we just don't know what's going on with that team.
yeah. I think next I would probably put Toronto.
Yeah, I could see that. Um,
If they don't, I mean, it doesn't look like they want to trade OG or Scotty Barnes. I mean, not Scotty Barnes, but they don't really want to trade any of those guys that like they could cash in and then like try to tank maybe, like or Gary Trent Jr. or somebody like that.
yeah,
They're
the
kind of really
Raptors
just
are in a
kind of
weird.
satisfied with just going for like 40 wins.
That's what it seems like. It seems like they're they're like in between trying to like I mean they didn't re-sign Fred Van Vliet this summer. Um, they didn't build a stronger team around like Siakam this year, but at
Yeah,
the same time they didn't like actively try to sell off everybody. So they're in a weird spot where I think they're trying to decide. Maybe this is like a evaluation year for them. They're trying to decide like where they want to move forward, like which players. Like I know they value Scotty Barnes highly. Maybe see if he makes a jump this year. And I'm sure he'll have a lot more point guard responsibilities this year without Fred VanVleet, even though they did add Schroeder, but he is also, Schroeder's also getting older. So like, he's not going to be like a high usage point guard, especially not like Fred VanVleet. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see a lot where their offense comes from this year. I feel like, because, Fred VanVleet had like a healthy amount of shots for them.
yeah,
I'm not sure if they got rid of anybody else.
yeah.
This
Honestly, I think they
season.
could be worse. I could see the Bulls being better than them.
Yeah, I could see them making the play in tournament. I could see them completely missing it and be at the bottom, like close to the bottom of the East. It's gonna really depend on all on
Yeah, especially if they
meshes.
like just rest Siakam basically the last like 20 games.
Yeah, we could definitely see that if they're definitely not in contention for that playing spot. They could just go complete tank mode. They did draft Grady Dick over the summer, really good 3-point shooter. Besides that, like they're kind of in
They're
similar
pretty much just
situation as the
depending on
Heat, where they're just
Barnes to
declining.
make like a all-star leap basically.
Yeah, that's what they are, but like I don't know if I see it exactly, honestly. I feel like cuz like I think his second and third years were pretty much like nearly identical, I think, in terms of like his statistics. Like he didn't show any like much improvements. Maybe like a bump in assists, possibly. I don't know, but I can see him. Yeah, a lot more playmaking duties this year. We'll see. I guess how that
First and
pans out
second
for
year,
him.
you mean? I think right. He was the same
Was it
draft
first and
as
second?
Franz.
Yeah, his first and second year. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's gonna be interesting. And I guess the Bulls. The Bulls, they were a play-in tournament last year, was it?
yeah. I think they
Um,
lost to
they
the
were the
Heat.
10th seed. Okay, so they're
Yeah,
the 10th seed last season. I don't see them being better than they were, and I could maybe just see a
yeah.
decline, with them.
DeRozan's a little bit older.
DeRozan older, Vucevic older. Like the only true young star on the team is Levine at that point. They didn't make any, I don't think,
They
any
looked
big
decent when
moves.
Caruso was playing, but their guards are just like pretty young.
Yeah, they got Kobe White, who's like solid. Maybe he makes a leap, but like outside of that, it just seems like they're declining. Also, getting older and
Yeah,
didn't make any big
they
moves.
should probably tank.
Honestly, they could have done that last year. Is what they could have done. Is just full tank.
Yeah,
It seems like they're trying to hold on to just try to barely make the playoffs. But like they got to retool. Around probably Zach Levine or trade off Zach Levine or just retool completely. Um, they're gonna be really interesting also there.
I don't know if Levine gets a similar package as like Donovan Mitchell, but like if you're getting at least like 2 first round picks and like maybe a young player, you probably should do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're just another
Even
team in that
DeRozan, you could
spot
probably get a pick or two from him as well.
for sure. I could definitely see
Maybe the
like
Sixers, somebody like that.
it'd be an upgrade for the Sixers. The Knicks could use him short term. Maybe not the Hawks, but yeah, I would say yeah, Sixers, Cavs, Knicks, like could definitely help them boost up in there to contention.
Yeah. All right, next
What do
probably
we
gonna go
got?
Pacers. I think
Yeah,
Halliburton's probably just gonna drag them to like at least 30 to 35 wins.
yeah. Halliburton actually, yeah, was pretty. He had a pretty injury plagued season last year. So like, if he stays healthy for a majority of the year, I mean, they already had 35 wins last season. So I could definitely see them honestly surpassing the Bulls this year, just
Yeah.
because of that. Improved team. They still have Buddy Hield. Interestingly, they didn't trade him away. I wonder if they're gonna still be doing that this year. Um,
And they signed Bruce Brown and they
Bruce Brown, nice spark for them. Benedict Mathurin coming off a great rookie season, picked up a good rookie in Jarris Walker, and then also Obi Toppin from the Knicks, gonna be their new starting power forward, I
yeah, so they're
guess.
definitely looking to get better. Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly, I might put the Pacers above the Bulls.
yeah, I would think so. I would say pace, maybe even
Might
above
even
the
above
Raptors.
Raptors, yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize we put the Magic up there in the play-in. So,
What do you want to
I,
do that?
no, I like him there, but I love it there. But I mean, barring that, yeah, 5-20 start, they were a really good team post that, like definitely shoot like with besides that start, they probably could have been like if they averaged like the same amount of wins losses as they did post that, they would have been probably shooting for like 7th, 8th seed, that year. But
Yeah.
that's well, I guess
When
I'll be
everybody's healthy, they're definitely like closer to like a 40 win team.
yeah, really deep team. Bench consists of Cole Anthony, who could be like in contention for like a 6 man of the year type player. We got Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, a 40% shooter. Joe Ingles, another 40% shooter on the bench. We got Jonathan Isaac, if healthy, he's been really
Okay.
impressing me in his like 10 minutes per game that he's been playing in the preseason. He's been racking up steals and blocks. Like, for a guy who's been injury plagued with like tons of knee injuries, like the way he still moves as a 7-footer after all those injuries, like, is really impressing me. Like, if he could have like a full season of at least playing, let's say he even plays like 50 games, like I think
Yeah.
that's huge for them.
Yeah.
He's like a defensive player of the year candidate, like playing off the bench, gonna be terrorizing other teams' bench units,
Yeah.
um, him and then the center. I guess the backup center spot's a little murky for them.
You could even potentially play him at backup center. That would be an interesting spot for him.
I think he could easily fill in that role. They've been playing Mo Wagner and Goga Badate. I feel like Goga Badate's a lot better of a defender than Mo is. So I'm kind of hoping he takes over the spot, But I
I'm
feel like
hoping
there's
Isaac takes that spot, to be honest.
if Isaac that would be ideal if Isaac takes a spot and then they just throw in like maybe Chumo Kiki into the forward spot or maybe even like Jet Howard. He's 6'8", really good shooter. Like that bench unit can actually have like really really good offense, and then with Isaac anchoring that defense could be pretty scary. Um,
And just like alternate with Franz and Paolo, basically. So
yeah, throw them in that lineup. I feel like if healthy, the Magic can actually have a great season this year. Franz going into this is his third season. Yeah, his third season. Obviously he's shown I think to be the most consistent player on the Magic. Definitely has the star potential. Um, could see him possibly make an All-Star leap this season. If he can average like above 20 points, I could definitely see that happening. Um, I don't know,
yeah,
I
I
guess
actually said that in my recent video, but it's kind of hard to see. I don't know. There's so many like forwards like Butler, Giannis.
I feel like the Magic are gonna have to be in good standings,
Yeah,
to for him to be able to do that. And also Paolo does have the bigger name, but I guess we'll see how much growth he's made from his first year into the second year. I think obviously a big thing for him is he's gonna have to be a more consistent 3-point threat. He's not much of a 3-point threat. The team already lacks in 3-point shooting, obviously with like Markel, um, Jalen Suggs. They're gonna have to prove that they can shoot this year. I feel like hopefully Wendell Carter will have an improved 3-point shot this year. I think he's worked. He's talked about that he worked on it like that is his main focal point over the summer. Um, and it's looked pretty good in the preseason. So it also if he stays healthy, I know he has feet problems.
mm,
He has the plantar fasciitis, so and that's generally not good for like 7-footers. So like if he stays healthy, if the Magic stay healthy, I think it's a great season for them. That's the main problem.
hope so. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah,
Finally, after like almost 7, 8 years.
exactly. Like that's the reason why I'm actually excited for them this year to finally showcase their talent. Hopefully,
Honestly, probably one of their probably their most exciting season this upcoming year
since
since like
this is
Dwight
probably
left.
since Dwight. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably since Dwight left. And I think I read a stat that the Magic have not broken out of the bottom 10 in like um in being like I guess the ranking of offensive teams. They've been a bottom 10 offense since Dwight Howard. Like even with the the playoff team we made with like AG, Fournier, Vucevic, that team was still in the bottom 10 in offense. So
that was just a
hopefully
Steve
looking
Clifford defense holding us up.
exactly. So hopefully looking to break out of that this year with hopefully better 3-point shooting.
Next up, we got or lastly, we got Washington, Charlotte, and Detroit. We were just speaking about earlier. Jordan Poole probably going to be getting a lot of shots up this year, along
30
with Kyle
shots a
Kuzma.
game. Kyle Kuzma, I guess that's the little tandem they got going. Um, they're gonna. I feel like they're like slightly. Actually, I don't even know if I want to put all three of these teams in the same tier. I feel like Wizards, Hornets, Pistons,
I think
and
Hornets deserve a little bit of respect.
they did win what 40 plus games when Lamelo had a full season.
Yeah,
I
like
think
2 years ago,
they did have that.
they were
So
in the play-in. Yeah,
in that sense, I feel like yeah, I guess I am probably underrating them in that sense. If healthy, if Miles Bridges is there, PJ Washington could have I feel like a good year this season. Mark Williams also their
yeah,
starting center is actually pretty good. I feel like that team healthy, not in jail. I feel like they could probably be fighting that play in for sure.
yeah. I
Um,
think Washington and Detroit probably this category.
probably lottery teams. I feel like
Yeah,
Wizards could be sleepers, but I don't know. They lack center depth. Like their starting center is Daniel Gafford, who's not really quite a true center. He's not like he's not a big center.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, outside of Kyle Kuzma,
They'll probably
Jordan
just struggle on
Poole,
defense in general with Kuzma, Poole, and
yeah,
Kispert as basically their
feel like they're gonna
the
have an
main.
inefficient offense probably. They have what? Who? Tyus Jones, I think, is there?
Yeah, Tyus Jones point guard. I could
Tyus
see their
Jones.
offense actually being okay, but pretty bad on defense.
Yeah, yeah. I could see that. Good offense, pretty bad defense, which will probably put them in the lottery.
Yeah.
Just not a lot going on there. It's probably like a evaluation year for them. See what they got in Jordan Poole, and then figure out what to do in the off season.
Do you think we're underrating them a little bit like the Utah Jazz last year?
I feel like they're sleepers, but everything literally has to click for them to actually, be a serious like play-in candidate. It's
Yeah.
really got to click. New team
Yeah, at the end
basically.
of the day, the Jazz were like what? Like 11th or 12th in the West by the end of the year.
Yeah, I could see them honestly having a similar situation where they start off strong and then reality hits and then start to taper off a little bit basically.
Teams start like changing their game plan and all that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then the Pistons. We
Yeah,
got
Pistons.
hopefully a healthy season for Cade Cunningham this year.
Yeah, I think that's everything. That's pretty much the only thing the Pistons fans want to see. It's just
Yeah.
like let's see what Cade actually can do in a
Yeah.
full healthy year, and he has like a good rim running center next to him, Jalen Duren, who was actually playing with the USA like backup team, and he looked good in that.
Mhm.
And Ivy and Osar Thompson as well. So
Yeah. I'm pretty big on the Sar twins honestly. Like they've shown that they're like incredible athletes. It seems like they've been working a lot on their jumper, so they're like
yeah, definitely.
honestly, I like seeing a change in like the mechanics of their jumpers and looking a lot smoother. Like they seem like really hardworking, young players. Really athletic. They have great court vision. Both of them great defenders. So like I think they have a really promising future. But obviously they're rookies and it's gonna take them a while to develop. So likely not gonna be like high impact players early on.
Yeah,
But I know the Pistons also got rid of Sadiq Bey last season, so that's just another young player who
you're
you're
like the
losing.
Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren front court.
Not, I don't know.
It's like a D version of the Timberwolves.
Yeah, it's like uh, it's a little clogged up, I guess, kind of. I mean, Stewart can hit some threes, I think, but it's not ideal. They do have Isaiah Livers, who's a promising young player. Also, they have an aging Bohan, who I could see them probably trading Bohan to a contender this year, which
think
would,
they finally do it.
yeah, which would definitely probably make him, even more out of contention for even a playing spot. So, uh, Pistons
Yeah,
really
he
promising,
was their
but
best
definitely at the
player last
bottom.
year for sure.
Yeah, without Cade Cunningham, he had pretty high usage, scored a lot of points. So, but I could see them moving on with him. He just doesn't fit their timeline, I guess.
Yeah. All right. I think that's good, pretty good for the Eastern Conference, right?
Uh, I think so.
We got
Yeah,
10 team. We got 10 teams. Like we kind of did it
four
numbers wise. It makes sense.
four teams fighting for that the play-in 7 through 10. 6 teams. Yeah, I think the top six are fairly set. I could see possibly a swap between like the Heat and Hawks maybe, but besides that, it's like I think it's yeah fairly set in.
Yeah.
I could see, and like it's so 50-50. I could see any of those teams that are in the yellow with the Pacers, Bulls, Hornets. They could swap with anyone to play in, also, vice versa.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Yeah.
best
I mean, that's gonna be
predict
like
it.
more interesting to watch if you're like a sicko, basically. If you're not really just watching like the top, if you're not just watching the best teams, these are the most like interesting like
Mhm.
matchups to me.
It's gonna be a dogfight. I feel like for
Yeah.
those last few playoff spots.
This is basically like the whole Southeast Division right here.
Yup.
uh, what do you think about for the NBA Cup?
NBA Cup. Do you know when that starts? What
I think
like
it starts like the first couple weeks, I think.
like the in season tournament?
Yeah, like the group stage. There's like 3, 4 games group stage just to
Oh,
see who makes it to the last who makes it to the round of 8.
honestly, I'm not even sure the proper or like the format for that. And the winner what gets money, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like most of the teams are probably not going to be taking that too seriously.
But
I
it's part of
feel
the regular season. Like it's
the games are
like
actually like regular season games.
yeah. So like let's say like
Um,
game number 8 of the regular season, it's also it also takes part of the NBA Cup standings.
so okay, so when the actual like in season tournament is that a regular season game or is that a separate game from the regular season?
No, it's a regular season game.
It is a regular season game, but
Yeah.
like, so what if like someone loses in the first round, then are
Well,
they missing out on regular season
like
games?
you don't get knocked out until like after like 5 games.
So they play 5 games for
Like
seeding.
every team has to play like the whole 5 games. I think
But after the 5 games, then those games probably don't count, right, towards your record.
they do count. I think they
They
do
do.
count still because it's
Okay,
part of
I'm
your
not sure
schedule.
exactly, honestly, how that works, but
Yeah.
but I guess that's gonna be interesting. I guess it will matter a lot then for the team, especially for the teams fighting for the play-in spots. Like they'll probably take it more seriously just because they know it's gonna help their seeding. So
See, for me, I think it's gonna be the opposite. I think that the teams like in this range, they probably
mhm,
won't take it as seriously because I mean they do take it seriously because it's part of regular season. But it's like,
yeah, I
do you
guess we'll
really
have
do
to
you really
see.
want to add like 3 extra games for the semifinals and the final
Yeah, exactly.
if you're trying to get in the playoffs? Like I think these teams will take it more seriously. Like these
Yeah,
teams, like 3 through 6, basically.
it's gonna be interesting. I honestly have no idea what's gonna go on with it. I guess we'll see how it plays out. Um,
Like like I don't think the Bucks or the Celtics care about winning the NBA Cup. I think they care about more about winning the championship.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like if you
exactly.
tell me like the Cavs or the Sixers, I feel like they would go hard to try to win the NBA Cup because they know they're probably not going to win the NBA championship. For me, that's how I'm looking at it.
Really? Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I just feel like they're not gonna be interested. It's not. You don't get the ring for it. I mean, I guess you'd be the first champions for it, but
Like I could see the Knicks and the Heat going hard for it,
yeah, yeah, I could see that too, honestly.
or even the Hawks, like Trey Young going off in it.
Yeah. Um,
It will be fun to watch, especially though when like it's actually like single elimination if they actually take it seriously.
yeah, then it'll be like more of a March Madness style, which would be
Y-
fun.
Yeah. All right, I think that's good for the Eastern Conference. I'm glad I confused you with the NBA Cup. But yeah, that's gonna finish it here, and we'll be back for the Western Conference.